minutes, and now we can run to Twitter to make propaganda to the masses. Let's see. Okay, there's that. And there's that. And then I copy. Actually, no, I don't do that. I'll just post it. Whee! Okay. The tweet has been made. Now we go to the Discord, which is a lot simpler. And everyone. Boom. Okay, cool.
All right.
Where's live? Okay. So I'll give them a little bit to join in because technically this is happening about 20 to 25 minutes earlier than when it was originally scheduled. So for right now, we'll just let the people bleed in and probably start in the next, 2-3 minutes.
All right.
Let's see. Also, for those who are filtering into the chat, hello, hi, welcome. Just let me know if you can properly hear TSS so I know I'm good on that front. Because
hi.
Oh God, back up, yo, back up, back up, man.
The funny thing is, really, I'm actually not even up against the mic. I'm just like freaking 5 inches away.
So what were you before? Because you sound louder now than you did like a few minutes ago.
This is actually when I'm actually behind in my chair, which is only about 3 inches of a difference.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The leaning it's crazy, yo.
Yes.
What's up, Rob?
Hey, Rob. How you doing?
So, as you guys are filtering in, I'll quickly explain what this is. Because although the title says things, it may not be as easy to understand. So, as time has gone on and gaming has become more and more mainstream to the point now where pretty much everyone at least knows of a video game console, even if they don't necessarily play it. That also means as much as gaming in general has grown, so is retro gaming. And obviously not everybody plays retro games, but I thought it'd be interesting to have the conversation about, well, it's going to be a conversation about gaming, but also a conversation about why people choose to hang in certain eras of gaming or like really love that era, or why they play, or they like to go back to the era so much. Because there's plenty of people who are like, I'm only playing the new shit. And then you got a bunch of people who are like, I'm playing the modern shit. Don't ask me what the video playing in the background is. Literally just so there's something on the screen engaging your eyes. It's muted for a reason because I don't know what's in it, and I don't know what is in it. I don't know what audio it's using, and I'd rather just not play that game. But the visuals will change as we go through the topics, primarily because if TSS recommends some products or things to buy, I'm gonna try to like pull them up in real time. Also, I'm glad you're playing quality, Rob, because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is absolutely quality. But yeah, that's the general gist. It's more of a thanks, Mel. It's more of just kind of a general conversation and discussion. Also, to be fair, I think you guys haven't really seen much of TSS in streams for a while, if I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, the last time I was on Terrell's channel was almost 2 years ago. Would you believe that?
Was it?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah.
Really? God, it doesn't feel like 2 years, man.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, anything that's a focus like me and you.
Together. Oh, then yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because the last time that it was a focused video with me and you was the Japan 2023 one, which is, by the way, out of date now. We have to redo that because things have changed.
Yeah, but I didn't want.
We'll
I didn't want the first thing we did to be like an obvious sequel. I wanted to put something in here. This we mean the stream ended for you.
It's live. Yeah, it was still good.
And I don't see any drop frames on my. Yeah, there's no drop frames on my
still
stream
live
thing.
for me.
Yeah,
it's still live for me. Refresh.
Refresh the screen. Oh wait, hold on. He probably won't be able to hear me if he thinks it's. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I gotta type that in there because he may not know.
Yeah, it's still live. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any issues. No CPU thing or no graphics card thing. Like everything looks fine.
Yeah.
Refreshing fixed it. That was weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
because YouTube sometimes is like that.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I think that's enough time. Obviously, people will kind of bleed in as they bleed in. So, and we'll start with the basics. Just how did you get into gaming? I guess would be the first question. I'll let you go first, and then obviously I'll give mine afterwards.
Well, for me, because I have two facets. I have console gaming versus computer gaming, and then notice that it did not say PC. So first, if we're talking about console gaming, my first console, even though this was during technically the SNES era, my first gaming console was an Atari 2600, and that was in 1992.
Yo, Donnie.
And hi, Donnie. So, yeah, so I like literally, I could kick the box that the 101 Atari 2600 games are in. Like literally, I'm kicking the box, the bin. It's like a crate that you'd find outside of a fucking 7-Eleven. It's the ones that fold in, but whatever.
Wait, is that the original? Is that the original one you had as a kid, or no?
Well, these are just games.
Oh, okay.
Like all of them are games, and most of the labels have fallen off because they are literally almost 45-year-old games. I remember playing a lot of Jungle Hunt. That the port for the 2600 was a great game. Donkey Kong are playing a lot. Let's see, the ones with the paddles, so like Video Olympic, Super Breakout. Let me see what else. Journey Escape, which is a weird one because it was based off of the band Journey.
You said these are all. You said these are all the Atari 2600, right?
Yes, okay. And you also have River Raid, Enduro, which is like my first ever racing game. It's a really nice racing game for the Atari 2600 made by Activision. Yes, I did play E.T. and yes, I did play freaking that awful Pac-Man port. So
what was wrong with it?
The Pac-Man port was made in like 10 weeks, and it's legitimately the worst fucking port of Pac-Man ever. And it's like it was very bad, and also E.T. is also very bad too. But those are some of the games that I actually played back in those days, and I didn't even get an NES until 1997. And another one would be Frostbite. That's another good game for the 2600. Also, you had like Megalovania. Megalovania. Sorry, not Megalovania. It's Mega something. Is it Megalovania? Let me see.
Wonder if it's in here.
Megalovania. Sorry, not Megalovania. It's Undertale shit. It's Mega something. What the fuck is it for the 2600?
I get Master Builder. Let's see, Math, Medieval, Mega Force.
No, it's not Mega Force. It's
Mega Boy.
No.
Megamania.
'Mania, yeah, that's Megamania. 'Mania, 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 Mega Mania. That's another one. That's kind of like a shooter
Yeah, I have it up
that
on
has a
screen.
different. Yeah, Mega Mania. That was another one. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff for that as well. But like I said, that's like I said. Yeah, Mega Mania, Space Nightmare, as you saw there. So that one is it. Also, Phoenix and Demon Attack. That's another one. Those are two other good ones. Yeah, so there's a lot. There's a lot of great 2600 games. Even though they look very primitive, they are really fun to play. They were really fun to play back in the day. There's a lot more games. Like I said, I have 100 plus games here. But yeah, there's a lot of games.
Oh, that's what Pac-Man looked like. Oh my god.
Yeah, like I said, it's a really poor port. It's the worst port. Also, Moon Patrol. That's another one. The port to the 2600 was really good. But yeah, I will say that Pac-Man 4K that was a unlicensed game that you saw there in 2011. So again, it took homebrew people years to make a good Pac-Man game on the freaking Atari. But yeah, so that was the start of my gaming stuff. Mountain King I never played. Wizard of War was another one. That was really nice for 2600. So the reason why I say that it's two different things for me, console versus computer, is because in 1995, a California professor was moving back to California, and he gave me his Commodore 64. But I didn't really play that. I played the Commodore Amiga 1000. The Commodore Amiga was a computer by Commodore USA, which is basically like it's powered by like the Motorola 68000. It had great graphics and sound capabilities, even better than the PC at the time. But he left me with like 4,000 discs. So I ended up playing that a lot. I played a lot of Amiga games, a lot. So Commodore Amiga, like the Amiga 1000 came out in 1985, and that was the only Amiga computer where you had to have a kickstart floppy disk. Later versions of the Commodore, like the Amiga, with like for example the Amiga 500, the Amiga 600, and the Amiga 1200, and the 2000, and the 3000. Those came with Kickstart and ROM. So all you had to do was just pop in the floppy disk. But that's what it was. It was like the floppy disk, and you used to have like all these crack intro screens and all this stuff. And but some of those games I really enjoyed. Sadly, though, a lot of the games for the Amiga were actually PAL games, so that means that all of them were running like too fast. Some of them ran too fast to actually play. One of the examples was a game by Capcom called LED Storm, which was based off of the LED Storm 2011 game for the arcade. But that is like one of my favorite Amiga games of all time. Another game that I played a lot on the Amiga was the Test Drive, like Test Drive 1, Test Drive 2, Grand Prix Circuit, the Cycles. Those are all like Accolade games. Let's see, freaking Summer Games. That's another one. Summer. Yeah, sorry, not Summer Games. What was it? It was it was Epic Summer Games. I think it was.
What year did the Amiga come out?
1985.
That's what.
And yeah, and most of the games
look like.
Yeah. Yeah, those are late there. Those are late. Yeah, those are later Amiga games that would actually run. So most of the games that came out after like 1988 and like 90, like 89, 90, 91, 92, they are really impressive, and they are better, and they are much better than old PC ports at the time. Like you compare the original Test Drive on the Amiga versus the version for Commodore 64, and even for the MS DOS, because the MS DOS version only was like fucking CGA and fucking beeps, like PC speaker, while on the Amiga you had like full PCM sound generation chips. It was really advanced at the time. And then obviously you have cannon fodder. The game I loved to play on the Amiga as well was in Europe it was called Crazy Cars 2, but in the US it's called F40 Pursuit Simulator. That's another good one. Another one I used to play a lot was a game called Savage, which is basically like a bunch of like 4 games that were in one disc, and you get to play like different levels of games. One is like a platformer. One was like a first-person perspective, and you have to shoot things. And another one was like you take control of a fucking bird and you fly around in a fixed plane. It's like I said, it's really, there's a lot of great like Commodore Amiga games. The Commodore Amiga library is one of the also Turrican 2 is like one of the most famous games on the platform because it is really fluid animation, great graphics, great sound. But if you haven't checked out the Commodore Amiga library, you should. It's a very it was very underrated in the West, but in Europe it was like super popular.
Oh wait, I didn't know that this I didn't. Side note, I only saying it because it's on screen. I didn't know the Gianna Sisters was actually was this older of an IP. Because for those who don't know, they released the Gianna Sisters later. There was like I don't know if it was a port, but it was a later game that came out. I want to say back like around 2013, 2014 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what the hell is this? I didn't realize it was a pre-existing. I didn't realize it was a pre-existing IP.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and also it was on the Commodore 64 too, but of course the Amiga version. Oh yeah, Speedball 1 I played a lot, not really Speedball 2, but both of them are really fun games to play. But the Gianna Sisters, Donnie is right. It was a new game. It's just that it was a reboot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a reboot. But there's a lot of beautiful games for the Commodore Amiga, and for the people out in the West, it's really like, I mean, for the people that had like Amiga 500s in the late 80s and early 90s, they had basically the pinnacle of gaming, because even I love the R-Type port, and also Silkworm. There's a lot of great arcade ports on the Commodore Amiga. Now later ones, now there's two different generations of the Commodore Amiga. There's the OGA, which is the original graphics chipset, and then the AGA, which is the newer ones, which would be, so the OGA would be like the Amiga 1000 and the Amiga 500. The AGA would be like the Amiga 600, the Amiga 1200, 2000, and 3000, and 4000 series. Now the AGA games were much more complex. I mean, hell, there was even a fucking Street Fighter 2 port to the AGA Commodore Amiga, and that shit was like 9 discs. But then again, though, that's not even compared to, I believe, Monkey Island 2. Monkey Island 2, I believe, was 11 floppies or 13 floppies. There's a lot. It was a lot. And most of it was like 720K floppies. And also North and South, which had a port on the NES, but the Amiga version is much better. Let me try to think. One more. I'll rattle off a couple more games for the Amiga that I could remember off the top of my head. There was another game port that I really liked. So so you saw like Test Drive and Test Drive 2. Yeah, California Games, that was it. That was the thing. I was just watching it now. Yeah, California Games. That was a really fun thing. there. There's a really good golf game by Accolade called Mean 18. That's another good one. If you really want like a mouse like driven game that's really good, you should try that. Let me actually look at. Let me just rattle off a couple of more here. I'm going to actually go into my Amiga like main
Oh
ROM
wow,
folder.
I see the first Samurai on here.
Yeah, like I said, the some of the games like even like oh yeah, Rolling Thunder has a really good port on the Amiga too.
Harley
Like I said, these
Davidson.
games, yeah, the Harley Davidson ones, yes, yeah. Like I said, it's they had a really cool selection of games. Also, Great Courts, which is a tennis game. That was really impressive, especially the intro music, like the intro music to that. That was really cool. Um, oh yeah, Hard Driving. That has a decent port on there as well. So yeah, there's a really nice selection of games that was on the Amiga. But the good thing is, well, we're gonna get how to play those games later. But those are the ones. But those are the ones that I rattled off. Those are basically, and also there was more than just games on the Amiga. You can actually create music and art, and one of them was. And one of the things you can do is they had like lots of music trackers, like Pro Tracker, and then deluxe music construction set, which was really good. And then not to mention that they also had lots of like community made or computer group made like demo discs, like disc of the month clubs and stuff like that, where they would have like public domain games or shareware
Oh, I
games, and it was
remember
really cool.
this. I played Toki in the arcades.
Yeah, like I said, there was a lot of great ports. However, though, one port that you have to avoid like the plague is freaking Outrun
Why?
because the game runs at like 2 FPS and it controls like shit. However, Chase HQ is a nice port onto the Amiga too. And then a couple of more here. Um, they actually ported. There's actually Sierra made a couple of Hoyles games for them, and like Hoyles Volume One, which has like a lot of like card games and stuff. That was really cool. Lotus Turbo Challenge, and then Lotus 2 and Lotus 3. Um, and then the last one would be like, oh yeah, the Paperboy port is really good too. And also Ports of Call, which is basically a ship simulator where you buy a ship and you basically travel the world and you make money and stuff like that. That's really a highlight. That's on a highlight reel of any game collection that you would find on the Amiga. And then finally, there was also da, 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 Alien Syndrome. That was another, and also Blockout. Alien Syndrome, Blockout, Blue Angels. Really nice games. Like I said, and 3D Pool, which was really impressive that they actually had a 3D looking pool game back in, like snooker or pool, whatever you want to call it, back in the day. And also Shuffle Puck. That also had a port as well.
So
That's a lot of great games for the Amiga. So anyway, those are the two gaming. Well, those are the two like gaming systems that I grew up with in the early to mid '90s, and then after that, basically had then I got the NES in '97, the Genesis in '98, along with the N64 in '98, and then in let me see here. Then the console that I had after that was the PS1, which was the small PlayStation. That was 2000. And then after that, I got the Dreamcast in 2003. I didn't even get an SNES until 2003 as well, from GameStop, because then that's when I finally was able to play it. But I did play the SNES at a friend's house back in like '93 and '94. And ended up loving like Super Mario All Stars and also Rival Turf, which is a kind of a Final Fight clone, but it was really good. It was made by Jalico. Um, so that, and then after that, like I said, mostly any like any NES, I still have a ton of games for it. I still have all three original Mario games. So it's like that, and I realized that as time went on, how much it's like Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3 cost now in the secondhand market. It's insane because it's rare now.
So my history is a little bit less extensive, mainly because, and people gotta remember, there is an age gap between like me and TSS. Like, I think it's what,
Not that much.
it's like what, 4 years?
3.
Wait, were you 88 or 87?
88.
Oh, that's right, because Ness is older than you. I have to remind myself
Yeah.
of that. I was
88.
thinking that's what messed it up. So my family wasn't well off. So my first console I think I ever remember really playing anything on was the SNES, hence why I have the footage running for it right now. That was how I was introduced to gaming. My mom got it at like a yard sale or something. Like it was way, because the SNES came out what, in the 90, 91?
91 in the States.
Yeah, I was born when the console came out. So by the time I ended up playing it, I didn't end up playing it until like 90. I want to say like 97 is when I ended up playing it. So I played it like 5 years after the fact. So
Yeah, and that was pretty much at the end of life too.
yeah, so like when the way my introduction worked was we couldn't afford games, so it was either games that were gifted to us, we got at yard sales, or when Blockbuster started letting you rent games. But I know I didn't do that for the SNES. I didn't start doing that until the N64. I think the order of the titles I ended up getting, I mean the games, the consoles I got was the SNES, the Genesis, the N64. But to be fair, I very much was into the handheld market a lot. Like that was a very like big thing for me, was playing handheld gaming. So as a result, I didn't get into. So I think it was like the N64, and then I got the Game Boy Advance, and then I got the Dreamcast. My dad bought. It's one of the only things I ever got from my father. He bought me the original Dreamcast. So, and I think when it launched, so mine was like brand
99.
new. Yeah.
Wow.
So I got it when it came out. And then I think the funny thing is at the time, I didn't recognize the value of the Dreamcast. So I actually traded it for a PlayStation 1. I want to say that was back in, when did I do that? I did that, it had to be like 2000, 2001. No, wait. I would have been, no, yeah, around 2000, 2001 probably. Well, actually, when did the GameCube come out?
2001.
Then yeah, because I remember I owned a GameCube at that time. Yeah, I owned a GameCube. So it was like 2000, 2001. Yes, I recognize it was a bad decision, and I absolutely regret it. But unfortunately, I had already made the mistake, so it is what it is at this point. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Not only downgraded, that means that you had a console that you can put a freaking an optical drive emulator in, and you threw that away. Well, that's crazy.
Hey, look, when you're a kid, you don't really recognize the value of
Yeah,
things.
hindsight. Yeah, it's like always hindsight is 2020.
Oh, absolutely. So that my history was a lot more of I console game consistently. I usually had one or two of each generation of consoles. So GameCube, PlayStation 2. I mean, my bad. GameCube, PlayStation 1. No, wait, no, I had it right. GameCube, PlayStation 2. I'm tripping. PS3, Wii, and then I played pretty consistently on handhelds a lot. Like it was Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, the DS, the DSi. Yeah, because I never got the Lite. I never owned the Lite. It was always the DS and then the DSi. And then I owned the 3DX XL, and then the new 3DS were the two 3DS consoles I bought. Yeah, you came in at a weird time, Richie. Hey, Richie. But yeah, and then even with consoles, it was the PS3, Wii, and then obviously the PS4 and Wii U. Like I was pretty consistently owning at least two of the major console releases that were coming out, and the only handheld I think I didn't really touch were the PlayStation ones, which I only recently bought a Vita what was that like?
Hey, Ryan.
Hey Ryan, I bought a Vita back in, when did we get those? It was during, was it COVID when we bought those?
COVID times, yeah, COVID times.
So probably the last 5 years or so, maybe
Yeah,
four, depending on when we bought it. I want to say we probably either bought it like late 2020 or early 2021.
2021, yeah.
So it's been about 4 years. Actually, the Vita is sitting right here actually because I had it plugged up. And I haven't done anything with it, even though I told myself I was gonna do things with it. But yeah, it's right here. Oh wow, the reflection's crazy. Yeah, thank you, PS logo. Yeah, the reflection's crazy. But no, like the general, mine's wasn't extensive because the games I really remember. I'm gonna be real with you. Even though I played those consoles, we couldn't really afford games, and I didn't get a job until I was like in my teenage years. So most of the stuff I remember is more stuff off my handheld. That's the stuff I ended up playing a lot. Or if we went to arcades for whatever reason, that was like my major thing. Speaking of Vita, that's the only Sony console I ever owned. I bought 3 months, and I bought 3 months ago. Jesus Christ, Ryan,
Wow.
that's crazy. I guess that goes into it's a little side detour for a second, but I'm curious. Did you have any particular brand loyalties back in the day, or was it just whatever had a game that you were interested in on?
I mean, I was mostly a Nintendo person because, well, the only exception to that would be the GameCube because I didn't own a game. I legitimately didn't own a GameCube because I'm talking about because there's a difference between me and my brother. My brother had the ability to like get the current gen consoles even back from like the PS2 era because he got a PS2 in 2002. He got a Xbox original in 2003, and he played the crap out of Halo 2 like every other person back in the day. And then every other console, he just got it like, because when he started working and stuff, he just bought it. He just bought whatever, and he played like the 360. He didn't get a PS3 until much later, like everybody else. And then let's see. He got the Wii like in 2009.
Oh, he got it late.
2008.
He got it late.
Yeah, like 2008, 2009, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
And then I was the only person to buy the Wii U when it came out, like about a year after it came out, because I bought the Zelda one, the Wind Waker one.
Oh, the Wind Waker bundle.
Yeah, the Wind Waker bundle one, and actually that was actually the first console that I actually bought with my own money.
Oh, actually, that's a good question in the chat. What was the first console you ever bought with your own money? Mine's was
I will preface this by
let's think of home console.
Home console that I bought with my own money. The N64, by the way, I didn't buy that one for my own money. What actually happened there was I actually won on a TV show 2 tickets to Mountain Creek in 1998 when I was 10 years old.
So
and the issue was, and I should have known back then, those tickets were valued at $600, and we traded it with a family friend for just an N64, and obviously brand new. We bought it brand new, but it wasn't my own money because I used the trade-in value from those tickets.
So I think the first console I ever bought with my own money, ironically enough, I think was the PS3. And the reason why is because my mom, the last console my mom bought for me was the Wii. And so the first console I ever paid for was the PS3 Slim back in 2009. I want to say 9 or 10. I knew it was like mid PS3 cycle. Because I couldn't afford to get a launch one, and I wasn't buying a 360. Now the first gaming thing I ever bought in terms of like, if I included handhelds, then the DSi was the first thing I ever bought. The DSi was the first. I remember because I was on GameStop's website when I bought it. It was like with my first handful of checks, and I think it was right before the 3DS came out actually. So yeah, that would have been the first in general. And then I bought the Wii. The Wii was the first Nintendo home console I ever bought. It's funny to say that when I realize that means I've only, out of all the Nintendo consoles that I've owned, I've only paid for two, I guess three if you count the Switch 2 as a separate thing. So yeah, the Wii U, the Switch, and the Switch 2 are the only three consoles I bought, whereas I have paid for the PS3 and PS4. I can't count the PS5 because that was technically given to me. And then the Xbox Series X was the first Xbox console I ever bought. Although it's the first Xbox console I've ever owned in general anyway. I had no interest. The 360, there was so much negative rhetoric about the 360 online. Like I had no interest whatsoever. But I'm interested. I'm glad to see you guys in the chat. The Wii U was your first one, Donnie. The 64 was your first Nintendo console. I mean, you don't realize that most of us couldn't really afford anything until we were like in our teens, either probably early teens.
Well, I couldn't afford anything until I was in my 20s.
Hey, look, everybody got different life circumstances. We don't look at my first console I bought with my own money was the GameCube. The GameCube, my mom didn't mind buying the GameCube because the GameCube, I think you have at a certain point was like $100 on sale. I remember those commercials, and I remember you could go in the store and buy it for $100. And man, I felt bad because I knew why it was that cheap. Because I don't think it launched at $100, did it?
No, it was $199.
Really? It was that high?
Yeah, because even the N64 at launch was $150.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah, and then in 1998, the price dropped to $129 with the Atomic Purple controller, because that's the bundle that my mom got, or I was able to get.
The first console.
And my first N64 game was actually Forsaken, because that was the only game that we could afford because it was fucking $30 at fucking Toys R Us.
It's funny, you know, the first thing I ever played on the Dreamcast, Sega Swirl.
What the fuck?
Do you remember what that is?
No.
I'm about to show it to you.
Oh my god!
It was one of the weird. The fact that I remember it is because I played it way too much. I think it's literally their version of Tetris. Let's see, Sega Swirl. Yeah, here it is. Look at this fucking thing.
Right.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this abomination. I won't say it's abomination. That's rude. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
All right, let me see.
It actually was It was essentially a demo. It was a part of a demo disc collection. You could play Rayman 2. I didn't know JoJo was on that. That's crazy. What the fuck? Where is it? There it is. Sega Swirl. There it is. Look at this fucking thing. This game holds a place in my heart purely for no other reason than I played it way too much and it stuck out way too much in my mind as an experience. They're taking too long to get to the gameplay footage. We're gonna have to jump in a little bit quicker. Yeah, it even has the fucking powered by Microsoft Windows CE.
Yeah.
Also, hey Lightning. Yeah, here we go. Sega Swirl. Yeah.
Let's see.
Hopefully, by the way, it's storming over here, so I really hope my luck isn't trash, because I'm gonna get pissed if fucking power goes out. I would like to say it's not. So I think this was a game that they made internally that was really meant to be more of a BS game. I don't know if they ever sold this as its own thing. But it's essentially, I feel like it feels like it's essentially a version of not Tetris, but like, well, I guess Block Blast maybe is the best way to describe it.
Let me actually see the gameplay, because it's all just freaking menuing, and like I want to see the gameplay.
It's showing you. They're gonna freaking make me. Fine. All right, let me jump forward because he went through the whole. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Oh my god, hold on, let me. There it is. Now we're in the game.
All right. I gotta wait because the
Yeah, I know the YouTube lag.
the YouTube lag is real. Okay, so this is like the poor man's Bejeweled.
Yeah, actually, I think that's probably one of
Well,
the.
actually, no. It's actually no. I know what it is. It's like fucking Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, and which is funny because doesn't Sega make those games, or at least publish them?
Well, that's yeah, that's correct. That was a Sega thing. Yeah.
So ironic enough, I guess it makes sense in retrospect. But yeah, it was like this. I've played this for an unnecessary amount of time, and mainly.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's a puzzle game. Like I used to play fucking Tetris all the fucking time. Well, not even Tetris, but the Chinese brick games that you used to get for $5 in the corner. I used to play that a lot.
Not in the corner.
Yeah.
Not in the corner. Sega does make them now, at least. Oh, really? Don?
Yeah, because it used to be there used to be I mean, the Puyo Puyo was another company, but it was but they had the ports for like SNES and Sega.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this was one of those games that became a part of my childhood, not because I wanted to play it. This was also back in the day, this is around the era where they were releasing demo discs, which they stopped doing after the PS2 was the last time. Did the PS3 ever have demo discs?
Not really.
Yeah, I think the PS2 was the PS2 was the last one I remember.
Yeah, because most of them would not when you had the ability to connect to online and download demos from the store.
So you wouldn't need a disc anymore. It's funny. It was because of the PS2 demo disc that's how I ended up playing Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing. That's how I ended up playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
And you know what's really funny? Like as we're talking right now, I just got an email for a freaking GameStop class action settlement.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, like literally right now as we're talking.
Wait. I wonder if I got that. What the fuck? That is absurd.
Yeah, so we would have to complete a claim form by August 15th. That's freaking crazy.
I'm gonna actually look at this. Okay, wow. Everyone go check your emails real quick for GameStop class action lawsuits.
Yeah, for a fucking class action lawsuit.
Does it tell you what it's about?
Let me see. It should. It says the notice is being the defendant GameStop discloses online video game customers' personally identifiable information to Facebook via Facebook tracking pixel without consent in violation of the Video Privacy Protection Act.
Okay.
So they leaked shit to Facebook.
Does it give you a time range of when it happened?
Now this was in the state of New York, however.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, because I don't see anything for me. So it's specifically y'all's state.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, because Donnie said he got one.
Yeah. So you know what that means? We're probably gonna get fucking $2.25 or some bullshit.
Hey man, money is money, bro. Oh yeah, that's right.
No. Yeah. Yeah. You know the best part was I got a whopping like $1 and what was it? $1.20 from fucking MTA because of a check or whatever the fuck. So,
of course. Also, Ryan, I do remember those. They used to give demo discs at Pizza Hut. You used to be able to get those. I don't think you had to
Pizza Hut, oh baby, Pizza Hut. Come on, stuff that crust. Come on, anybody that knows fucking Nakey Jakey. Hey, fucking Nakey Jakey. That when you go into his channel, that's the first shit you hear. It's like that's crazy because
that's terrible.
Like that fucking video is like 9 years old at this point.
I know, but it's for the lulz, guys. It's for the lulz. So
I know.
Now that we have the general, like us playing games, like how our gaming started, I guess the question, and it's gonna lead into it. What is your favorite era of gaming, and when did you go back to it? Because obviously, I think in our group, you probably retro game the most. I want to say.
Yes, I do. I play mostly stuff between. The Amiga stuff. So if you do that, we're talking about stuff from like 1987 up until about 2002. That's the era of the games that I usually play on a regular basis.
So what made you start going back? Was it a love for those games or the disillusionment with the current state of gaming when you went back?
Well, mostly because for the longest time, aside from the N64 era, I didn't really get to play modern games. I would like during the 2000s, I was mostly still playing my N64 games, and it wasn't until I want to say 2011 when I got the 3DS that I actually was playing modern games.
So due to situations, you were stuck in the past, even though it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, because like I said, my brother played the modern stuff. I didn't really play that. They didn't really play that much.
So if anything,
the real passion for me was when RetroArch first came out in like 2012, 2013, and I actually found out for.
Now, real quick, explain what RetroArch is for those who don't know.
RetroArch is a front end of like classic emulators. They're called cores. They're using libretro, and I first discovered it back in 2012 or 2013 by Wii Homebrew. Funnily enough, and then I realized, wow, they're actually on PC as well. And then so that's what got me going back to the old games. Because I've been playing, because I knew about emulators like SNES 9X, even going back to fucking 1999 and 2000, 2001, when those shits were on DOS. And I remember going to the public library, bringing fucking floppy disks. I remember just being able to download fucking Super Mario All-Stars, the regular one, not the world one, because it would fit on a floppy disk. And ended up playing that on a fucking 486 computer that ran DOS and fucking Windows 3.1. And I remember. Anybody remember fucking ZSNES, the fucking DOS SNES emulator? Because that was like the fastest one. It wasn't the most accurate, but it could run on like a fucking 486 or a Pentium 1. And those made me like going, and playing like old games. And then later on I found MAME in like 2002, and I ended up playing a lot of, I remember playing fucking 88 games for arcade, even though it ran at like fucking 30% speed. I remember still playing those games, but actually I was emulating SNES since like 2001, 2000. So even before retro gaming came out, I was still like emulating games. Nice, Donnie.
Oh yeah, that was the first NES emulator you ever tried. Okay, cool.
That's SNES, yeah. And then later on, SNES 9X had a Windows port, and then also you had like Nestopia. Yeah, so those were so that's but I would say, like I said, the RetroArch era starting like 2012, 2013, that really got me back into like discovering retro gaming again, like in terms of like me playing it on a more often. Because it was just convenient. It's just like it's fun to have like a one-stop shop for the old systems instead of having to, have fucking 7 or 8 emulators installed in your computer.
Right.
You could just have mostly everything under one roof.
Now, then the question becomes, did you prefer going on PC and getting those emulators, or did you just prefer modding your consoles?
Okay, so for me, and even until this very day, the only console that I would seldom emulate nowadays is different because of the parallel core on PC, but and another newer N64 emulators that have come out in the last couple of years. I would normally prefer playing N64 on original console because especially like something like Mupen 64 and even freaking Project 64. I don't know how people fucking still use that, and that was because that's like one of the worst emulators for some of the games. I wasn't happy with the accuracy of N64. Not until like the Mr. FPGA core came out in like 2023 that I would even consider playing like N64 on emulation or even either hardware or software emulation.
Well, I think I remember you saying that N64 is like one of the hardest eras to emulate. Like it's one of the hardest.
Well, in that generation, yes, because the only system that would be harder to emulate would be the Saturn, and
Right.
still to this very day, it's very difficult to emulate the Saturn. But the N64 still was very notorious.
What was the reason why it was hard to emulate the Saturn specifically?
It's because it has two CPUs, as well as multiple as well as the graphics chips, and the problem also was that Saturn used quads instead of triangles to draw polygons. So a lot of graphics cards, it's very difficult. Like graphics hardware, it's very difficult to emulate like 3D Saturn games. 2D games were easy, but 3D Saturn games used quads instead of triangles to draw their polygons.
Okay.
And that's why it's so difficult to emulate.
Now, with all this enjoyment of retro gaming and emulation, I guess the question is, do you think there's something lost in modern games that is still in retro games? Like, is there like a certain, I don't know if I call it magic, but
Well, I would say it's more like once the gaming industry went into the more cinematic storytelling, that's when it kind of lost things. And also, also in another case, why the fuck does a Madden game have to use a fucking Battlefield game engine instead of their own engine?
Yeah,
Why the fuck would you use a first-person shooter engine to fucking make a football game?
Yeah, I don't really understand the point of that, actually.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I seriously don't understand.
There goes Richie. Madden football. Madden football.
Madden. Madden 91, Madden 92, Madden 93, Madden 94, Madden 95, Madden 96, Madden 97, Madden 98. I can't fucking do it.
It's Jesus Christ.
And 2000, Madden 2001, and 2002, Madden 2003.
I guess the main thing is really just talking about how modern gaming. I think really the issue, and I know what it is, we lost the arcadiness of video games.
Yes, to an extent, yes.
But I guess here's the question: for a person who doesn't game, like I know what you mean when you say arcadey, and you know what we mean when we say arcadey, and a lot of people in the chat probably know. But how do you explain arcadey to a person who doesn't understand when we say games don't feel as arcadey? What does that mean to a person who doesn't know what we mean by arcadey?
Okay, I would just say for the person to just go into an arcade, like a Dave & Buster's or something. Even it doesn't even have to be in a retro arcade, and it's any coin-operated game that you're supposed to play in like short bursts, like a very limited time.
So a very pick up and play kind of style.
Yes, and then of course and progressive style that it ramps up in difficulty because they want to pump more quarters out of you. But mostly it's like it's the feeling of being in playing like an arcade cabinet. That's what I would describe arcadey as to to a person who doesn't really know what arcadey means.
It's the reason why is because even Chuck E. Cheese still has arcades. Yeah.
Yes, and even they have a spin-off one too.
Yeah, but did y'all hear about that whole thing? It's like an adult version.
And you know what the crazy thing is? The closest one is like outside of Rochester, which is like fucking 7 hours, 6.5 hours.
Really?
If I want to take a bus.
I think I'm more surprised that you had to go as far as that to. Actually, where's the one near me? Now I think about it. Because we have a Chuck E. Cheese here, but I don't know if we have an adult one. Let me see. It's funny because people just say, so it's a Dave and Buster's. And then they found out they don't sell, you don't have pizza. You can't get pizza from what I understand.
Well, yeah, because Dave and Buster's was the whole thing of you eat and then you have food.
Yeah.
While this other concept that Chuck E. Cheese is trying to do is just specifically like an arcade. Which is like, yeah, then we're going back to fucking 1980s, 1990s, where arcades were a dime a dozen. Like, or the ones that were in fucking pizza shops, because I still remember that there was a pizza place in my old neighborhood, and I remember back in like fucking 1994, 1995, where they had fucking 4 Super Street Fighter 2 machines in the pizza place, specifically because people fucking played it. Like, I saw a lot of fucking teenagers play it, because you gotta remember, like early to mid 90s, like freaking everybody fucking played Street Fighter 2. Like, even a small corner ass pizza shop that was also in my neighborhood, they had a fucking Street Fighter 2 World Warrior cabinet, the fucking Z cabinet. Like, you have to understand, like, early 90s, once fucking Street Fighter 2 came out, every little pizza place and joint had a freaking arcade machine. Well, yeah, at least in my time. A lot of them still had it from like the Pac-Man days and stuff. My mom was even telling me back in like the early 80s or even the mid 80s, she remembers having to freaking like go to the bank, like fill out, because she was a bartender at the time, and like take all the quarters out from a fucking Pac-Man machine and go to the bank to change it for for like bills and shit, because they used to get tons and tons of quarters in there. So, and even today, the barcade concept, I still say is very nice, especially the ones that are run by like independents.
So I'm looking now, the Chuck arcades, the ones that exist. You have one in Connecticut, Trumbull, Connecticut, one in Nashua, New Hampshire, one in Kansas City, Missouri, one in Salem, New Hampshire, one in El Paso, Texas, Victor, New York, which I'm guessing is the one that you're probably talking.
Well, yeah, I think the Connecticut one would actually be closer, because that wouldn't take very long. That probably would take like 4 hours to get there.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Petersburg, Florida, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then Beaufort, Georgia. Where the fuck is this at? I'm actually curious. How far is this from me? Let's see. This is 2.5 hours for me.
That's not horrible, but that's still that wouldn't do that.
It's one of those. I'm not going that far on my way just to go to essentially a Chuck E. Cheese spinoff, especially when I have a Dave and Buster's right here. Also, what am I looking at right now? What is this game? What was that game? When you have fucking Santa Claus using his gut to...
Oh, Clay Fighter. Okay,
that's what that
that's
is?
The second game. Yeah, so that's the second game in the series, because the first game was Clay Fighter 63 and the third.
What kind of...
Ken Griffey Jr., one of my favorite sports games of all time.
Really?
It's showtime. Call me, call me, call me, Junior. You know what's funny? Actually, Ken Griffey actually did the music for that game. Fun fact. So he did music for his own game.
That's kind of cool, actually, because you don't get that kind of attention to detail anymore, unfortunately. So, for the most part, other than maybe the N64, you don't play on the original hardware. You rather just play through most.
Well, I would say yeah, and maybe and also PS3, because PS3 emulation, our PCS3 is like I try to play freaking Gran Turismo 5 and 6, and it doesn't really work very well. So those are the only games. So PS3 and N64 would be the only ones that I would play on the original hardware. And well, yeah, I mean, if we're talking specifically what we consider retro now, because
yeah. I think the thing that the PS3 isn't really when does a game become retro? I guess is a better question. Is there
15, 20 years?
So by that logic, anything from the Wii era and actually, well, then the PS3 stuff would count as retro.
Yeah.
God, that bums me out. It bums me out, yo. Oh my God, the PS3 will be 20 years. No, not 20. Yeah, no, it'll be 20 years old next year. It'll be 20 years old next year. Oh my God. My biggest problem with modern gaming is that it's too much about trying to be movies rather than being fun games.
Hit it right on the head.
Well, you know why, don't you? It's because of how modern gamers are looked at. Gamers got really insecure about their form of media being disrespected. The modern public didn't respect gamers back in the day. They thought it was some goofy shit for nerds and basement dwellers. And they wanted so badly to be taken seriously. They'd be like, "Oh, see, our stuff is an art form too." And then the graphics got good enough, primarily in the PS3 generation, where you could essentially start making movie-ish looking games and be telling these like immersive stories. And as a result, they're like, "Look, now you can take us seriously, right, guys? You can take us so seriously." Oh, that's what this song is from? What the fuck? I never knew that. That's a Bomberman track? The I didn't know that was a Bomberman track. What the fuck?
Now you know.
What the fuck?
Also, NFL Blitz is also one of my favorite football games.
Sorry, I want y'all to understand something. And the one thing I will say I appreciate about YouTube.
Also note that this was done on a poor emulator because there was absolutely no fucking lines on that grass.
Lord. So I want to quickly just say, I need y'all to understand something. Though I love YouTube because it was thanks to YouTube that I ended up like hearing a bunch of old soundtracks I never got a chance to hear because I never played most of these games. And I had heard that track.
Prison World's one of my favorite.
I had heard that track in like 4 videos, and it drove me nuts. I'm like, it sounds great, but I don't know where the fuck the song comes from. So they randomly find out it's a Bomberman OST track. Yeah. The Last of Us is only 12 years old, I think. It came out in 2013. But the find out that track is a Bomberman track of all things has fucked me up. I am floored. It's also kind of crazy how many games do not exist anymore because we lost so.
No Lightning. Cruising World is not Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi is a completely different fucking game. It's a completely different game.
I knew he was going to cause problems in here.
Listen, I have played Cruising World for thousands of hours, and that's not an exaggeration. It was a game that I went to Toys R Us in late 1998 and actually stayed there for like 45 minutes to play the game. And then I ended up buying it from Blockbuster in '99.
Now, question: is Cruising World your favorite arcade racer?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite simulation racer?
Gran Turismo 2.
Do you still like Gran Turismo nowadays, or is it just more of like?
Here's the crazy part. The last Gran Turismo game that I actually played was 4, but I didn't play much of it.
So it just didn't feel the same.
Well, the problem was, it's like I did try to buy Gran Turismo 5, but remember, I didn't have a PS3. I didn't have like a fully functional PS3 until technically this year, because the other one was, I found it in the fucking garbage in fucking near Astor Place in Manhattan, and then ended up like getting my brother to like freaking open it up, and we did the thermal paste. But even then, the fans were fucked up, and then I couldn't really play it. But that was like back in 2014 or 2013. But even then, it's like I never played it.
So
like,
so you had a broken one right as the PS3 generation ended.
Yes, and I found it in the garbage. I found it on the street in a New York City garbage can.
Now let me ask you something. Speaking of retro gaming, okay, so you notice how when we like y'all use the Sega and the Nintendo, Super Nintendo as the examples here. You know how everyone always talked about the differences between ports between like the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, like that Genesis twang that you got in like the music when you played it on the Genesis. I guess my question is, do you miss those version differences? Or are you glad everything's kind of been more homogenized to where now the main difference is like frame rate or graphics, not necessarily like? Because remember, some multiplats were almost completely different games.
Well, yeah, because the biggest Achilles heel of the not Super Nintendo, but the Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis can only show 64 colors on the screen at once, while the Super NES can show about 256.
So as a result, they had to get creative about how they did their ports, essentially.
Yeah, like Earthworm Jim 2. Even though the SNES port is superior, I still like playing the Genesis port because the music is better.
Oh, that twang, baby.
Well, I mean, that's a YM2612 versus the Sony DSP that was in the in the SNES. The thing is, though, the issue isn't the sound generator chip itself, but it's like the programmers that program the music, because on the Genesis you had better programmers that can, because the Yamaha YM2612, that was in a lot of arcade machines as well as computers. Some computers had it. Even the freaking Sharp X68000 had a Yamaha chip.
So you prefer? So wait, just so I make sure I'm clarifying. You prefer the differences, or you rather them be essentially where they are now, where they're essentially?
I rather have them where they are now.
Okay.
Because that means that regardless of what it is, at least you're not getting a compromised experience. Because now we live in a world where everything is like fucking 16-bit color. Even for a pixel art game, you can have like so many colors on screen. You don't have color limitations. You don't have sound limitations. So then you can make it sound retro by just having like full like square wave channels and freaking PCM. You could make it as limited as you want, but the limitation is done artificially as opposed to having to deal with the hardware limitation.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I get you. I guess now the next question then would be, because we're about an hour in, what would you recommend people use to play different? So, give an example. Let's say they wanted to play Commodore or Atari 2600 games. What is the best method you would suggest for them to play it today in 2025?
Okay, so any console, I would say, that is before the SNES and PC, and then computers before the Windows XP era. I would say you should. I would say MS-DOS, from MS-DOS back all the way to like 8-bit computers like the Atari 800, 400, and even like Atari ST and all the Commodore machines from like the Commodore PET up until the Amiga, it's better to just emulate it, because trying to get original hardware working today for anything older than 30 years old is like 30 or 35 years old is going to be a problem. Not only because of the fact that they don't support like anything below like either like RGB or fucking component, but it's also the modern televisions add lag, and even if you get a scaler, depending on the scaler, you would get like maybe 44 microseconds of lag, which is not bad, but then you have to deal with like either composite video or at best maybe RGB or YPBPR component video, which is good, but you have to modify consoles and even old computers like the Commodore Amiga. You can get S-video out of there, but again, you have to worry about power supplies, you have to worry about bad capacitors, so you would have to do a lot of stuff to make it work. And especially Atari 2600, where the best you can probably do is fucking composite mod. It's better now. I mean, a potato can run a fucking Atari 2600 game at this point. Like literally any like low-end ARM chip, even made 10 years ago, can play an Atari 20. Even the fucking T-Mobile Dash, which is a fucking a prototype like Windows Mobile 6.5 fucking smartphone that came out in 2005, that could play Atari 2600 game. So it's more like a convenience of anything
Commodore
like
64 emulator in 2025.
Commodore 60. Well, I would say Commodore 64 would be fun. You would play it we play Vice, the Vice emulator, but that's already part of the RetroArch package. But if you wanted to play the Amiga games, then 100% you just use like the PUAE core in RetroArch today on any platform. It doesn't matter if it's a game console or a fucking computer. You'd rather just do that. If you want to use actual software and a mouse and a keyboard and stuff, then I would suggest using either WinUAE standalone or WinUAE standalone, because you can actually use your keyboard and mouse with that like natively. But yeah, so anything before, I would say anything before the anything PlayStation 1 and below, you could safely emulate that and get a great experience.
Okay, what happens when we go past that though?
Past that, the PS2 on PC, like PCSX2, is still my favorite way of playing PlayStation 2 games, because while you can get PS2 to work on like component video, unless if you had like a PS2 fat with a hard drive or an SSD in there, you would still need to buy yourself a scaler, such as like the RetroTink, like 5X would be the base one that everybody buys today, or the GBS control, to hook up the consoles to a modern HDMI display or a capture device. Once you get then original Xbox, while the Zemu emulator or the Xenix emulator or whatever it is that exists today, the original Xbox emulator really doesn't have like that much of compatibility, and plus it's very intensive. You can't really play Xbox original games on an emulator on a modern PC higher than like 1x resolution. The 360, while the emulators for that are like Xenia, because that's the Xenia emulators for the 360. While that's good, I would say like it's still better to just play it on like, the RetroTink 4K costs like fucking $700, $750.
Yeah,
but those are for the people that have like that stuff. But the RetroTink 5X would be a good choice for a starter. Like if somebody was starting out, that or the GBS control, which is like you could buy it off of AliExpress to play like classic consoles. But 360 and PS3 generation, I'd still say that original hardware is good for that. Wii and GameCube, the Dolphin emulator is good enough to play both of those. And CMU for Wii U still is okay. Would work fine. But
now, what about
because Wii U is very hard to get original hardware for, and plus they're dying because the flash RAM's dying in them.
Question? What about PS? I know PS4 and Xbox One might be a little bit weird, but would they just be original hardware for them too?
At this point, yes, but Shad PS4 is coming along very nicely.
Is there any reason? Is there any more hangups they still have?
Yeah, it's not a lot of optimization yet, but the PS4 and the Xbox One are very interesting because the emulators for those are using a different technique. It's using more like virtualization to virtualize certain system calls because the PS4 and Xbox One generation are basically AMD APUs.
Mm-hmm.
And even today, AMD x64 x86 instruction sets. So now it's more like a translation layer as opposed to emulation. But we'll get solid PS4 emulation in the next few years, or translation. Because you could literally play Bloodborne and finish it on Shad PS4 now.
And run it at a proper frame rate.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
If you have a system good enough, yeah.
I guess that's the other thing to bring up. Let's say I wanted to do up to Wii U quality.
Okay.
How new of a graphics card do I need in a PC build to be perfectly fine playing and or streaming games up to Wii U quality on emulators?
I would say anything to be safe, Zen 3 and above, so 5 years old or above.
And
graphics card, I'd say RDNA 2, the 6000, the 6000 series or above for AMD, and probably the 3000 series and above for NVIDIA.
Let me see, AMD. You said 6000 series for AMD?
Graphics card, yeah, for AMD graphics card, because I have a 6700 XT. That's 12 gigs of RAM, and it can actually handle pretty much everything I throw at it at this point. Even Switch, but Switch is a different animal in itself.
I mean, if you want to go into it, you can go into it real quick.
Well, I mean, you had freaking Ryujinx that got taken down. You had what was the other one? What was the other big one? Hello, brain, work, please.
Oh wow, I know what you're talking about. Oh no,
because Citra was the 3DS one, and was it? No, it wasn't. No, Lime 3DS was the.
What was the Switch one? I don't remember what the Switch one was actually. Because I keep thinking Cemu, but Cemu is the Wii U one.
Wii U one, yeah. Cemu is the Wii U one.
What was the Switch one?
And it had. You know what's funny? If I look at my list, if I look at my program list, I'm probably gonna get it.
I see graphics cards are still fucking expensive. Good God.
Yuzu, yes, that's right. I knew it was a fruit.
Yuzu, god damn.
Yeah, I knew it was a fruit. And then Ryujinx got taken down, or they actually settled and they decided to take it down. But there's always forks of those emulators anyway.
Of course.
But anything in the last 5 years, you'll be good enough for Wii U, up to Wii U and even Switch.
Let me see. Question. How long is the process usually when a new console come out for them to work on to get a proper emulator started, or at least to crack it? Because usually,
5 to 10 years.
Okay.
5 to 10 years normally, because remember, as we get past the generations, it's harder. First of all, it's harder to crack the security algorithms, as well as a way to dump the games. Because, like I said, exploits and other things take years. Like
Right.
I would say, minimum 3 to 5 years. But in terms of like getting an emulator perfect, you're probably like for later consoles, you're probably not going to get perfect. But maybe by the 10-year mark, you'll get to a point where like almost all the games run just fine, with some outside exceptions for some weird ass reasons.
Of course. What was the tier of Nvidia cards you said that would be fine up to Wii?
Probably 3060 if you get probably the 16 gigabyte version. The only reason why I say throw more RAM at it is because textures, because they have to do texture caching. But I would say like for the Nvidia ones, maybe a 3070 and above would probably work better. And then the 6000, like anything above a 6700 XT can do it comfortably, because you need VRAM. Because the problem is a lot of the mid-range and lower-end cards, they don't give you a lot of VRAM. Like 12 gigabytes, even, okay, I see a 12 gigabyte 3060, that would be okay. So 12 gigabytes of VRAM minimum for any graphics card, and it has to have a decent...
And that's not bad. You're only spending about $200.
Probably more like $300 to $400.
Well, yeah, once you get up here, yeah, you're right.
But I would say like $300 to $500 on the graphics card minimum would be fine to run like Wii U stuff and below.
Yeah, the funny thing is, eventually I'm gonna have to upgrade the graphics card in my main one, because it's the one that's still running the 2060. 2060.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, 2060. Yeah, and like I said, I changed that out to a 6700 XT. But if I were to buy a card today, I'll probably buy a 9070.
Oh,
like easy. The 9070, yeah, the 9070.
God, man, $700.
Yeah,
it's also out of stock.
But again, well, yeah, but I would say I buy a graphics card knowing that I'm going to use it for like 5 years plus.
So good if you got like 5 years out of it, it was worth the money.
Yeah, and plus, like I said, that 16 gigabytes of RAM, that means you'll easily be able to play any emulation.
Right. Now here's another one. Here's another question for you, sir. What is the biggest mistake you've seen people make getting into retro gaming, whether it's emulation or modding their consoles or what? What's something you've seen too much of that needed to stop?
People buying those cheap HDMI adapters for the retro consoles that cost like fucking $20.
Is it a particular brand or just?
Well, there's there isn't a particular brand, but most of them are like $20, and most of them are supposed to be like a composite to HDMI, and those number one, they look like shit, and also they're not low latency. And like for example, if you have an unmodded N64, the highest quality graphics,
so something like this
stock N64. Let's see.
Oh yeah,
let me.
Yeah, it's gonna take a second.
It's gonna take about 20-30 seconds. Yeah, yes, that's one of them. But there's also other ones that they make for specific consoles. Because actually, that AV to HDMI is bad because that actually adds about 7 frames of lag. The ones from the ones like for specific consoles, like if you buy like a SNES or N64 to HDMI adapter, that's also bad. If you like I said, for an unmodded N64, the best quality you can get is S-Video.
Like this.
Let's see.
I'll give it a second. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna see. Yes, those.
So what should they be buying?
What they should be buying is a scaler. Like I said, they should buy RetroTink 5X. Like, easiest plug and play solution to get to 1080p is the RetroTink 5X because it supports composite, component, S video, RGB SCART, and VGA. Well, actually, I don't know if the 5X doesn't support VGA, RGB, HV, or VGA input, but it does support pretty much the basic stuff that people want to do. The GBS control, the GBS control is good if you have either like Retrovision component cables, which they're a bit pricey at like $80 a pop, but for people with like SNES or N64, you can RGB modded N64, you can get like component video out of SNES or N64, or but not on GameCube because GameCube uses the digital adapter,
Right.
the digital component. But basically, I would recommend anybody that wants to do retro gaming and they want to use either a stock console or an RGB modded console. I would definitely recommend like the RetroTink 5X to plug it into, and then you plug it into the TV because it's a plug and play solution. It will just fucking work. Plus, it has motion adaptive deinterlacing, so 480i games like for the PS2 and the Dreamcast, you don't have to worry about anything. And plus, it's very low latency. As you see there, it's only like quarter of a frame, which is like 40 microseconds.
Is there a way to have a lagless experience or no?
Only if you use a CRT.
Damn. Have they?
And those are getting hard to find.
Well, of course. The more time passes by, the more of those things eventually either get swept up or broken down. Is there?
Yeah.
So here's my question, because I've always asked, why is it an issue? I guess why specifically a CRT? Like, is it because they were specifically made with those in mind originally, or what?
Well, yes. Also, a CRT has exactly zero lag.
So even a
because
modern,
of the way, because
so even like modern HDMI,
the deal,
or go ahead.
Yeah, because CRTs had a beam that would draw line by line, so every scan line was drawn in real time, so zero lag. The problem with modern displays and HDMI displays is that it uses a frame buffer to draw the complete frame out before it's being shown on the screen. So an average NTSC frame is 16.67 milliseconds. So there are quote unquote low latency modes for like OLED and other displays, but unless if you have like a 120 hertz display that actually does display at 120 hertz, then your minimum lag is going to be 16.67 milliseconds. Now some of them have sub 10 milliseconds, but those are for very expensive displays. But for the most part, you are in gaming mode, you're probably looking about one frame of lag.
And there's nothing you really can do about it unless you were to switch to well, even now, I mean, even to switch to a CRT,
you can't. I mean, it's very expensive, and also it's very limited.
So at this point, it'd just be better just to take the L and just deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, unless if you find a working one in the garbage, or can get one for free, because I would not pay for a CRT these days, because if you go look on eBay,
let's go look on eBay. TSS is gold. Sorry, go ahead.
a lot of people are just like freaking they're upcharging for freaking CRTs, because I remember about like anywhere between like 10 and 25 years ago, you can find CRTs out in the street for free. Like I found a very late model Daewoo one from like 2006. And I found that on a street corner about 10 years ago. And that screen looked like pretty much perfect. There wasn't any burning. The CRT didn't look tired. It looked great. And I still have it. But the problem is it's a 25-inch set and it weighs like fucking 45 pounds. But I'm still keeping it because it's the newest CRT that I have. And also I have like...
See the screen? Or is it not updated yet?
Yes. Yeah, so you see like 13-inch screen, $165. Plus $87 delivered. So like $250. Yeah. And even the flat CRT. The funny thing is I own that fucking Sylvania combo fucking CRT. Because that has both composite and both composite in and out. And it was like a 9-inch TV. But mine isn't flat. It's actually curved. But as you can see, you might as well just go on fucking Facebook Marketplace. Well, obviously you don't show it on screen.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm not gonna do that. It's crazy.
But if you go on, the thing is though, trying to buy a CRT these days is very difficult to do.
What's the most you would pay for a CRT?
CRT?
Yeah, let's say you find one at a yard sale. What's the most you pay for it? That you'd be willing to pay for it?
$50.
Okay. Doesn't matter which kind it is?
Doesn't matter.
So if it's more than 50, I can't be bothered.
Yeah. More than $50, no.
Okay.
And like I said, free. Yeah, like I said, and like Donnie said, you could probably find them for free. You used to be able to find them for free.
I think because the retro community,
even old CRT computer monitors, like people are using fucking Dell CRT monitors from like the early 2000s, and they're just plugging like their Dreamcast into it because of VGA.
Now I do have a question.
Of course, that's zero lag technically.
I have a question that correlates with this. Do you think the retro gaming community has been artificially blowing up certain prices for things in the market when it comes to like?
Yes, 100% since like 2007.
I guess why in your opinion do you feel that way?
2007 is when people started to understand the value of the NES, and then of course, Angry Video Game Nerd came along. You know, and that was one of the main reasons why fucking retro games came back, first time. And because of that, everybody was fucking starting to jack up prices on fucking NESs. Because I remember in 2003. I bought an NES with like fucking 45 games from a guy in Texas for like fucking $50 plus shipping.
Rob in the chat. Now we get into the juicy part.
$50 plus shipping. So it was like $85. But that was like a whole shit ton of games in an NES. Hell, my mom, we went into a freaking Habitat for Humanity little store, or actually it was a store inside of a church, and I was able to, and she was able to get, and this was back in 2004 or 2002, 2004, somewhere around there. Was able to get a full like an actual suitcase full of like NES games, like maybe like 40 of them, and we got it for like $20. And it actually came, and actually there was like Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3 in there. And today those go for like fucking $85, $90 by themselves. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, Angry Video Game Nerd, Irate Gamer, same period. You know, Chris Bores and
yeah.
You know, yeah.
Well, usually that was the first boom. I mean, that would imply there's another one that's happened.
Yes.
What was the second boom?
The second boom was probably around 2015, 2014, 2015.
What caused that
one? Interest in CRTs.
Oh, really?
Like mass interest in CRTs. Like starting in the mid to late 2010s, you had channels like My Life in Gaming promoting like retro gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what caused another spike in the prices. Even worse than what it was before.
And then they never really went down. Once they
Correct.
spiked, they never really went back down, essentially.
Nope. That was it. All bets were off starting in the mid 2010s. Because at least you were able to go on eBay and find old games, maybe even Atari games for like $2, whatever. I mean, probably still today because some of them have like millions of copies or whatever.
Right.
Like the common ones, you'll be fine with that. But even I would say, like even back in the late 90s, they I remember seeing a Funko Land, like they basically had like a whole big like newspaper
Oh, Donnie has a
full
question
of like the
too.
game prices. And I'll answer Donnie's question in a moment.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
So back in 1997, 1998, I remember looking in a Funko Land newspaper catalog because they used to have like a catalog in like a newspaper format. And they were still selling fucking Earthbound for about fucking $90 or $95. And this was back in 1997 or 1998.
Yeah.
Do you think the Virtual Console helped with that when the Wii came out? Yes. That was about the same time because that was around 2007. So yes.
So
I would say that was another thing. That was another thing that
I guess
pretty much
because that would also help with the other consoles as well, like the 360, Xbox Arcade, and
yeah.
Although it's obvious the Nintendo games are the most expensive, partially because of Nintendo, and the other part is because the fans know they can kind of get away with it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Like-
Nintendo hit this thing where they were like, I want our games to be viewed as valuable, and to be fair, they are almost to an obnoxious degree nowadays. I would say though,
right.
because now people are just like, fuck it, that's too much for my blood.
Yeah, but the silver lining to all this is because as the technology has become more cheaper, and cheaper and more community. I know, I caught myself. And also projects involving like the Raspberry Pi Pico. It had that has resulted in cheaper flash carts for vintage consoles, optical drive emulators for like for example the PSIO is a bad example because actually that was cloned by China and that was actually better, and GDMU, which also was cloned by China, you can get it for like fucking $35, $40, and then yeah, so basically you could buy flash carts. So the Raspberry Pi Pico is not a single board computer. It's actually a microcontroller, and there's projects like the Summer Kart 64.
There's
which
a Pico.
You get one like
there's a Pico too, or is it the original Pico?
Well, it was the original Pico, but the Pico 2 is more powerful. It actually has RISC cores in it now, so people can actually write RISC software for it too. But mostly, people have created lots of things with the Raspberry Pi Pico. People have created ISA cards for computers, emulating the Gravis Ultrasound, which is one of the most prestigious PC cards from the late 80s, early 90s. And now you can buy a clone for that with that's created with the Raspberry Pi Pico for like a fraction of the cost of how much the card costs. So people have, and also they're bringing like SD card support to old DOS machines, and it's crazy. So many different projects with the Raspberry Pi Pico, both retro gaming and also retro PCs. Them being used for assistance in like video scaling and other things like that. It's really crazy how many projects the Raspberry, and even mod chips. Let's not forget the mod chips. One of the most famous ones is the Pico Boot for the GameCube, which basically, like, you could run the Swiss software on it, and that in combination with like a SD to SP2 adapter, you could basically have yourself a completely modded GameCube and run games off of an SD card
Oh my God, there's
for
so
the
much.
fraction for like a fraction of the fucking cost. There is so much, and that's only in like the last 3 or 4 years because of microcontrollers like this, and also like the ESP32S3, for example. And that's other things. There's projects coming out for that. So those, like I said, those are microcontrollers. I'm not talking about like the ARM-based computers. I'm talking about microcontrollers, which are being used in like open source, like retro gaming style projects. So it's absolutely nuts. What projects people are making. And
Yeah,
love it.
I can see. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
God
So,
damn.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Welcome to my
So
TikTok.
yeah, well, I mean that's the whole thing. I mean, that's crazy. And the crazy thing is you have lots of retro gaming and also retro computer festivals happening too, which they just had one they have VCF Southwest in freaking Dallas that just happened. They're having another one in Chicago in September. And there's also a retro computer festival in Long Island that actually is happening in September as well. So there's a lot there. There's definitely a lot of a lot of different people are very enthusiastic
Do you
about
do you
computers.
hate that or love that?
No, I love it. I love it because it gets people like me that has the vintage hardware the ability to breathe new life into it.
No,
Because I own because yeah. Go ahead.
I guess well, it's kind of a weird question. Because this isn't necessarily about collecting the hardware itself, but is there a particular piece of vintage hardware you own that you're incredibly proud of owning?
The Commodore Amiga 1000 because the NTSC version of that is very rare, and by the way, I do not turn it on anymore because it is legitimately almost 40 years old, and I'm pretty sure that if I try and also the bromide has yellowed it so much that I'm pretty sure if I try to open it up, it's going to crack the whole case. And I know that if I try to power it on now, probably like a cap will probably explode in the power supply and other shit. But I still have a love for that system, but I'm very proud that I have it, and I would never sell it.
Is it even
that?
worth it?
And also,
is it worth a lot? Oh, never mind. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, the Commodore Amiga 1000. Yeah, the Commodore Amiga 1000 is the original Amiga that came out in the U.S. in 1985.
Oh, we don't even.
Well, that's a CD32. That's not even the right one. That's the later console based off of AGA off of CD.
Oh, what do I need to put in there?
If you look at the Amiga 1000 or the Amiga 500, which is the all-in-one version that came out in 1987, those are the ones that are like expensive. But those are the one. But the Amiga 1000 is like my pride and joy in my collection. Also, the Atari 800 XL because I found that, and even have a YouTube video on it on my BCCS Productions channel, from like 2012 or 2010, where I bought that complete in box for like $7 in Florida. Yes. So those are that's the same guts as the Amiga 1000, except it has the Kickstart built-in ROM, but it plays like the same games. But there we go, the Amiga 1000, $600. NTSC version, like I said, that's rare.
God damn.
Yeah. That's why once Amiga emulation became pretty good, then I wanted to then that's
Is that in box? Jesus.
Yes.
Oh my God. Look at that. Sorry, no, there's a lag. Give it a second.
Yeah, Amiga 500 complete in box. That's fucking crazy.
It looks borderline pristine, by the way.
Yeah, but I would still open it up and recap it.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm just
Yeah, that's pretty much It's not even yellowed.
that's kind of. Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you know what I could have done too is
Like
this. I don't know why I didn't do this.
fucking screen share, man.
Yeah.
And we've been on here for fucking an hour and a half
All
already.
right, that's my fault. That's absolutely my fault. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see. That would be. I think it's this one.
All right, let's go. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Yeah. So that's that's the early Amiga 500 model with the
Oh
adapter.
yeah, BK he even cut it. Yeah, he's in proof of cutting it on.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Workbench. Actually, if you go back to the top, I want to see the complete picture. I want to see what discs come with it. I know it's how like Workbench.
Come out. Hold on.
Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, it's Workbench. Yeah, there we go. So you had, what do you have there? Yeah, Workbench 1.3. Yeah, that's 1987, and the extras disc. So yeah, I love it. Amiga 500. Like I said, the Commodore Amiga. Well, actually, there is a bit of yellowing on the back, but that's fine. It's complete in box. It works.
Yeah.
But I love like. Oh wait, actually, holy shit! No, that has Kickstart 2. Okay, that Kickstart 2.0. It's a later version. It's a later model. Because the original Amiga 500 came with Kickstart 1.3. So that's a little bit of a later model with 2.0. So it probably came out maybe in 1989 or 1988. But I'm
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Well, it says 91, so probably it's a late model, or it could be that the ROM was upgraded later.
Yeah, and
Because
just
you have to open it up and they just swap the ROM chips.
yeah, it wouldn't be anything that you'd be able to like.
Yeah, because I bet you that it probably shipped with Kickstart 1.3 because it has the Workbench 1.3 discs with it. So it probably came with the 1.3 ROM, but then it was probably swapped later. Let me look at the main board. Yeah, make the main board bigger. Let me see. They probably changed the ROM out. Yeah, probably the one with the one with the stripe on it. That's probably the Workbench ROM.
Yeah.
No, the 91 is the oldest. No, I actually look no. Oh, latest. The latest for for the Amiga 500. I think the Kickstart 2.0 is latest one, and then you have the Amiga 600, which was based off of AGA. Those can come with like what the 3.0 ROMs.
Look at this bastard.
Fucking, and you know what's funny? I have that same Amiga monitor. I have the same Amiga computer. The only thing is the keyboard that I have has a couple of broken keys because the bromide and stuff.
Starting 1,000.
Holy shit! It actually has a fucking test kit. Also, it's the original one. Probably it only has 512K of RAM because it doesn't have because usually people would have the side card that would add like 512K of RAM. Because there was an expansion port on the right side of the computer where you can add like a side card that would add more memory or more expansion. Okay, so for the Amiga 1000, you needed a Kickstart disk to load into memory because it did not have Kickstart ROMs. So without a Kickstart disk, the computer is worthless.
They couldn't
because you can't just boot into a game. No, unless if you did like a mod that would mod the Kickstart ROM into the computer. And oh man, that drive sound, I still remember it to this fucking very day. Oh, and you use Kickstart 1.3, so yeah, I mean Kickstart 1.3 is the latest one you could run on the 1000.
That looks borderline. That looks pristine.
It does. Very little yellowing. I love the disk drive sound, man.
This was all about, dog. It's all about.
No, it's like that's this is like I said, a pristine looking one. But they're probably gonna load. I don't know if he loaded a game or loaded in the workbench. Probably workbench. Well, let's see. We have to see until it loads. I have to see when it loads.
I forgot this thing would take forever considering
Well,
how old
that's
it is.
well, yeah, but at least it's better than fucking Commodore 64 where you had to wait fucking several minutes for a game to load.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was really bad, actually. Oh no! Oh yeah, I thought.
Okay, so it probably only loads to workbench.
Well, hold on, wait. You got 30.
Because a game would know. Yeah, it's workbench. Because a game would load usually within like a minute.
The fact that everything works kind of just blows me away.
And also, the GUI for the time was crazy because considering that, the Macintosh, which was out at the same time and uses the same CPU, it doesn't have color. It didn't have color. Remember technically the first Macintosh that had color was the Mac 2 CI,
Damn,
which was a very expensive workstation. Does it say the manufacture date? I don't know. No, it does not.
I don't see anything that gives. Hold on. Let's see. No.
But I would probably bet it was probably 1985 or 1986. Yeah, that's how the Amiga keyboard looks like for the 1000. That's just the guy's name, and that's probably where this computer went to originally.
If it's at the bottom,
so yeah, and the monitor the monitor even had the Amiga 1080 monitor in a box. That's crazy too.
That's a hell of an. He had it going for what, $2,000?
Yeah, that's actually nuts. That's okay. So I said I bought this new one. So original owner, 1986, used it until 1988, and was boxed since then. That is quite a backstory.
Let's see. Yeah, I pulled it out of the box just for this ad, plugged in everything, and turned it on with a newly ordered Amiga OS 1.3 Kickstart and work disk. Booted right back up. Tested the utility disk. Everything passes. It's not yellowed. Looks brand new. Everything works. Why do I have this? I was planning on using this in one of my rooms as a computer museum with my 1982 S-100 CP/M. My original Macintosh 28.
CPM, yeah.
And then this Amiga all machine from.
Yeah.
But time passes, my interests have changed, and it's time to start letting things go. God.
Yeah. Like I said, that's one owner. Like having a one owner Amiga, that's fucking crazy.
So by the way, in chat, I didn't mean to go on the tangent. It was just more so just letting him indulge. The fact that somebody got it sitting in their cart already fucking knows. Like, yo.
Yeah, that's one owner, single owner. A single owner computer like that, especially like I said, that is my favorite that is my favorite personal computer of all time.
It's an experience.
By and large. Like I said, you saw the games.
Yeah.
And and for folks that aren't familiar with the Amiga sound chip in it, the Agnes, I think. Take a listen to it. Like take a listen to the Amiga sound chip. It blew anything away from PC at the time.
Amiga ASMR. Commodore Amiga ASMR. Yeah, that's crazy. The fact that people own the original monitors what kind of fucks me up a little bit. In some ways, I hope I hold on to my collection. Although I realize as an adult, eventually we're gonna have to let some of this shit go.
Well, I have been collecting stuff since 1992, and I have noticed, and I know now that if I get rid of any stuff in my collection, I will not be able to afford it back in my lifetime. Once it's gone, it's gone. Because of the way the retro market is now. I mean, yeah, I can make a quick buck. But the problem is I will never be able to obtain them at a reasonable price ever in my life.
I feel bad because this
That's
feels
for the rest of my life.
the way this is gone. This feels like a perfect way to end the stream off of. But I feel bad because we didn't even talk about any of the handheld ones like at all.
Okay, so let's do rapid fire.
Okay.
So if you want to emulate a lot of consoles, and I'll give you like maybe we'll give you like maybe 3 or 4 recommendations.
All right.
If you want to play these games on a handheld, we'll start with the cheapest, the best and cheapest versus the most expensive, okay?
Okay.
So the first one that I would recommend first off, and by the way, no, I will not be recommending the RG35XX series from Amberneck because the H700 chipset is a bit wonky, and also the quality control for that specific series of handhelds, and plus there's like fucking 10 of them. I don't recommend it. For the fucking bargain basement, $35. On the battle, what the fuck is it? I gotta look at the fucking video because some of these shit has like tons of names. Let me see, what the fuck is it? It's the the Battle XP G350, which is, if you could go on AliExpress and find it for like $40. It has an old rock chip Arcade 3326, but it has like
Oh my God, that's the first thing. The first thing that comes up is a Reddit post saying it could be the new Budget King.
Yeah, because of that, because they don't admit it, but actually I believe Amberneck probably sells it. Also, yeah, that's fucking 30. That's disgusting. That's fucking $30. So yeah, 3326. It could play pretty much everything until PS1, and then a very small smattering of like N64, Dreamcast, and PSP. And also, it can run many custom firmwares like ArcOS and Rocknex. But like I said, quad core A35. You're not going to be playing a lot, but for like retro gaming and on the cheap. And also, you can play Portmaster, which you can play like ports. By the way, I don't know if Spaghetti Kart works on it. By the way, Spaghetti Kart is the decompilation port for Mario Kart. But for like cheap gaming for like PS1 and below, that's a recommendation. Because that's probably the cheapest you're ever gonna find.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. All right, so the second one. So if we go a little bit further than that, even though it's a few years old now, and some people don't like the way some of the stuff is the Powkiddy RGB30. You can get it right now. Powkiddy, P-O-W.
Oh.
Powkiddy RGB30.
The fact that
I don't know why. No, you have to. Yeah, that's completely wrong. That's completely wrong.
I would hope so.
Powkiddy.
This
RGB30, but that's too expensive. You would want to buy one. Yeah, that's a ripoff. You should be able to get that for $60. The Powkiddy RGB30, because it has a 4-inch screen that's a 1:1 aspect ratio. It can pretty much play like. I mean, you could probably buy it from fucking Powkiddy themselves, but let's see. But that's retro game handheld.
Yeah.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it off Amazon. Amazon's too expensive too. You gotta buy it off of like freaking. You gotta buy it off of Ali. I mean, $100 is not bad. That 59.14 says out of stock, but you could probably find it again. Well, I'll say, okay, actually, Powkiddy has official store. Wow, that's fucking too expensive. Why is it so fucking much now? What the fuck? Go back. Go back, please. Go back, please. Go to Powkiddy's official site. Go to the official site, please.
Oh wait.
No, that's right.
I know, but I gotta put. It's blocking the images itself. Can we not? No thanks. All right.
All right, go down. Go down. RGB 20 Pro. Continue. Go down. And they're not fucking selling the RGB 30 anymore. I guess they fucking discontinued it. Oh, that's fucked up.
That's probably why it got more expensive.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, look at that shit. They don't even have it anymore.
Yeah, that's probably why it's nope.
Yeah, because up until a few months ago, you can buy it for like fucking $60.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I guess they fucking discontinued it.
Which is now why it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Because now you're essentially buying whatever's left in people's stocks or secondhand.
That's freaking crazy. Let me look myself. That's freaking. I hate this. I hate this because up until a few months ago, you could buy one for fucking. You could literally buy one for fucking $60-something.
It is weird. It's weird that they're not paying for it. Then they're not selling it anymore.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, this one. Okay, so, all right. This one. Okay, I found a seller that actually sells it for a good price. I'm going to post it in the chat here. Well, your chat.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
no. Put it in the YouTube chat. That way they can get to it.
Yeah. So, Allie, you could buy it. You could buy it now. Let me see. Is this a promo price or is it the welcome? Well, it's no. This is the real price. So it's like $70. Okay, that's better. So it's about third
This
party.
Is the one I found originally. Then probably because that was what I started with, and you were like, "No, you should be able to get it for $60." And then we went through this whole hunt and found out they just don't sell anymore. So that's probably the original I posted a while ago.
Yeah,
but it's all good.
So the yellow one doesn't exist, but you can get either the white or the black one. All right, just get the 16 gig one because then you could just use a second SD card and put your own games on it.
Gotcha.
But the reason why I like that so much is because the 1-to-1 screen makes it very nice. It's 720 by 720. Game Boy games look amazingly crisp on it. The screen is very nice. Runs.
What does it play up to?
It plays the same as the other one, but it can actually play more N64, more Dreamcast, and it works better with the Portmaster. It could play more Portmaster games. Okay. So all right. So the next one up, So the next one up would be the Retroid Pocket 5 at $200. The Retroid Pocket 5. It runs a Snapdragon 865. But what makes this one unique is that it can run both Linux and Android. And it could play pretty much everything up until most PS2 games and GameCube pretty well. So $219. So that in and of itself is a very nice, and it has an OLED screen. It's very nice. I wanted one at some point, but I decided not to.
Any particular reason why?
The reason why I wanted it is because it ran Linux.
I mean, why did you stop? I guess why did you decide?
Because I have a Steam Deck.
Oh.
And obviously, that's going to be one of the recommendations, but that's another one. Then we have two more.
Okay.
So the next one is the Odin 2, ODIN 2, by Ioneo.
Okay.
Okay. So that's about $300 for the base model.
Wait, that's not it, is it?
Yes, it is. So it's 330. So they only have the Pro models now. That has like 12 gigs of RAM, but that's fine. This runs Android, but it can also run Rocknix, which is Linux. So this is actually, and it has a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 in it, which is pretty much fast enough to play pretty much anything. As long as it's compatible with ARM, you could play it. You could even play like Wii U with this, some Wii U with this. As long as there's an ARM version of, and also PC games, like you can only emulate some PC games with like Box 64 and stuff. And Win Later and stuff like that. But this is like the most powerful handheld that you can buy that runs Linux and, the most powerful ARM based machine that you can buy that runs Android and Linux.
Right.
And of course, the final one, obviously, Steam Deck, because fucking Steam Deck, right?
Motherfucking Steam Deck.
Yes, because pretty much you knew that this was coming. Because for $400, it's the best. It's legitimately the best emulation machine that you could buy for handheld. Like, you put EMU Deck on there, and you have pretty much everything up until even Shad PS4 works on the fucking Steam Deck. You can with some tinkering, you can actually get Bloodborne to run at 30 FPS at 720p, and it actually is playable. So yeah. So yeah, if you don't mind the big handheld and you want to play pretty much every emulator under the sun, you buy a Steam Deck. That's it.
Well, damn. That's real quick.
Yeah, not to be confused with the Stream Deck. Yeah, the Stream Deck is an Elgato product.
Yeah, I still make that fucking. I still make that mistake.
Yes.
Real quick.
And by the way, it looks like the OLED is back in stock. That's great.
Oh, was it not?
Yeah, for a period of I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, you couldn't buy an OLED because I guess supply chain issues or something. But now you can actually buy it.
I'm real quick gonna go on Marketplace just to see if anyone's selling it in the area.
What, Steam Deck?
Yeah, just out of curiosity. What actually?
Oh yeah, so I have stories about that. So the reason why I have my Steam Deck is because my brother bought one off of Facebook Marketplace. It was a 64 gig model, and this was back in 2023. And he bought it off of a guy with the case with no adapter, no wall adapter for like $325. And that was back in 2023, so less than a year came out. And then he bought. Then he decided to give it to me because he wasn't using it. And then he bought another one. Well, he upgraded that SSD to 256. Then he bought a 256 one off of Facebook Marketplace several months ago. And
how many does he own?
He ended up paying. Well, now he owns one because he gave me his other one that he bought from. So he bought that one for $300.
Somebody just posted one for $200.
Oh, what does it come with?
It's the 512.
Oh shit!
Model.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Does it come with a carrying case?
Yeah, a carrying case, the hard case, and the charger.
Buy that shit now. $200. Yo, it's $200. Go and buy that shit. Yo, LCD 512 for fucking $200.
You know the funny thing is, I didn't even get a chance to search it. As soon as I clicked Facebook Marketplace, it was the first thing. It was
$200 fucking dollars for a 512.
It was the first thing to come up.
And you know what's crazy? If it's the original LCD 512 and the display and it wasn't upgraded, that means you got the fucking etched screen. Let's fucking go.
And then someone's selling the 64 gig one for $100.
By the 512. If it's the 512 with the fucking etched glass, that's the best fucking deal you could find. But 64 at $100 is fucking crazy too.
The 256 for $300. Oh wait, hold on. There's another one for.
Wait. Yeah, hold on.
I see another.
How much?
I see another 256 for $100.
Ooh, I think if that comes with the case, does it show what case it comes with?
Let's see.
If it shows okay, so here's the deal. The original one came. Well,
here we go. This is what it says.
The 512
got a Valve Steam Deck for sale. Thinks, looks, and feels brand new. Used in less than 30 hours. I absolutely love the thing, but just don't have the time to play it like I would. It has 256.
$100?
Has 256 gigabytes of memory. Also comes with an additional SD card in the Steam Deck that has 120 gigabytes of extra storage, as well as the case, charger, and a docking station to hook the Steam Deck to the television.
And it's $100?
$102.
Buy that shit now. Buy it now. Buy that shit right now. If he has the official fucking Steam Deck dock, that shit is $80. Buy that shit now.
The only thing I don't like is
Like,
the problem is he only has one picture, and the picture is just the Steam Deck. So the problem is there's no picture of anything else being verified that he has the other stuff. That was just what he wrote in the description.
But it's $102.
Yeah, that's what he wrote.
And even for the Steam Deck itself, $102. That's insta buy.
Why are they selling it? This fucking.
Because people are desperate.
They're that desperate?
Yes. Because I saw a YouTube video where a guy bought a 256, and I'm not kidding, a 256 Steam Deck for fucking $68.
Why?
No, that's the 200 one sound too good to be true. For the 200 one, no, not at all. Because I've seen YouTube videos where people were getting Steam Decks for like $150, $200. $102 and it looks new?
Yeah,
Shit.
When we finish the stream, I'll share the screen so you
can see. You're gonna show me that, because if that shit is in good condition and if it's his picture and if that's a guy's picture, I'd buy that shit now. Low key. Like you should buy that shit now. $100? Let's go.
Yeah, but with that being said, y'all.
Anyway, with that being said, moral of the story: go on Facebook Marketplace, look for fucking Steam Decks. That's it. Look for Steam Decks. Look for Steam Decks. Play your fucking retro games. Play your fucking Steam games. Play your fucking GOG games on it. Epic games. Every fucking thing.
Play all
Steam
your
OS
games.
Rules. Play all your games.
Play your video games. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope, if nothing else, you've enjoyed this a mixture of educational and also nostalgia. And just
thank you for the 13 viewers. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate the support, guys. I do. Yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thank you, TSS, for coming and
you're welcome.
Discussing not only your knowledge but your history with us. A nice trip down memory lane for those who either shared similar experiences or even some of the same experiences. As far as the weekend is concerning, we have Expedition 33 tomorrow night. And then I think that's it, because I think Tyrone should be streaming more Stellar Blade on tomorrow. I think. Someone
and then Legend of Dragoon on Tyrone's channel with me.
Yeah, so if you want to hear more of TSS, you will get him again on Sunday. On the Lord's Day, he will come down and bless you with more knowledge. But with that being said, I think that's generally everything. So
yeah,
thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I will see you guys tomorrow for Expedition 33. Like I always say, life is indeed a game. Play to win. And I will catch you guys later. Peace. Say bye, TSS.
See you later.
Woo! Oh yeah, I guess Tyrone's streaming now anyway. Yeah, everyone go support Tyrone's Twitch. I don't know what he's streaming today. It might be the round table.
I thought he was doing it on YouTube. Maybe he's doing something different. Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, bye guys. Woo!
Bye.
Okay, click that.
$102.